Hi everyone, this is Asa. I'm one of the co-founders of Gameondaily, and if you follow our content then you already know that I love playing games, but I'm also a massive nerd when it comes to the tech. Xbox put on a huge show for E3 2021 with 30 games, and we got to see the Series X putting out some seriously impressive pixels. In this video I want to take a look at the games that push the boundaries and the ones that just drop my jaw to the floor. Before I get into it, I do have to plug our content a little bit. Gameondaily.com is the platform we've built to bring content creators and communities together, so check that out. We've got a bunch of YouTube channels you can subscribe to. This one that you're watching now is our main channel for our feature content on our shows. We've got Gameondaily Shorts for frequent videos for your phone that never take more than 60 seconds of your time, and you can catch me playing all sorts of stuff live at Asa_Gameondaily, so just drop in and say hi. Alright, let's get into this. I'll just jump straight in with the most obvious choice. If you are watching the show as it happened, or better yet, if you watched it afterwards at 4K, then you know Forza Horizon 5 turned up looking absolutely breathtaking. It's so good that they used the same "look at this realistic scene, but wait, now there are cars and it was gameplay all along" trick about 4 times, and it didn't lose impact. In terms of tech, the photogrammetry techniques are the standout feature on display in Forza Horizon 5. At a high level, that means loads of pictures are taken of real environments and materials from multiple angles, and they kind of extrapolate those into a 3D space and bring them to life. In Forza Horizon 5, this is done so convincingly that it's safe to assume that Playground Games have actual wizards on staff. Playground Games creative director Mike Brown pointed out the thousands of individual needles on the many cacti, and you drive past those at 200 miles per hour. The level of detail is insane. Okay, we're not done with photorealism, but let's have a change of pace and look at Stalker II. What a powerhouse display of next-gen effects. We can start with the character models, the facial animations, the material details, and look at the individual strands of hair that actually look believable on this guy's head. We can talk about the beautiful texture work. The bricks here just look amazing. The ray trace reflections in these puddles and the array of particle effects everywhere, and the way this railgun just emits light through the environment is quite beautiful. But it's all just part of what makes this game so impressive. What really struck me though is the physicality of it all. So look at the way this wooden crate splinters out from the blast of a grenade. The velocity and the weight of all those shards, it looks right. I'm going to show that again in slow motion because it happens quite quickly, but just... Okay, I've never actually blown stuff up with grenades, and I think the physics are spot on here. It's the same outside, the long grass, the water, it all gets subtly displaced by the character, and it all comes together to make the game world almost tangible. It's incredible. Right, back to the photorealism. Flying in looking every bit as real as Forza Horizon was Microsoft Flight Simulator. The scale is entirely different, as you're obviously looking at our silly little planet from the skies, but again you could easily be fooled into thinking this is the real thing. And for this one it is worth noting as well, this isn't an artist's interpretation of our planet, this is the real thing. It uses masses of data from Microsoft's Bing Maps. So it's impressive for a multitude of reasons. Next, I want to highlight Halo Infinite. The event focused on the multiplayer, but the bit that caught my eye more was the brief flyover of the campaign. It was used to answer criticism that was levelled at it at the reveal last year. You know, the criticism that led to a 1-year delay on the game. The differences are actually relatively subtle, but thoroughly address the criticisms. It's beautifully lit, there's no harsh clipping or popping in, it's atmospheric but it looks quintessentially Halo. And it looks like they gave Craig a helmet to cover that infamous mug. Obviously we need to get closer to the ground with some actual gameplay to see the extent of the glow up, but I think people can feel a lot more confident now. For all of those nice things that I said about Halo, it was Battlefield 2042 that had the most technically impressive multiplayer showing. Purely from a technical perspective, Battlefield not only takes the prize for scale, but also for the more dynamic qualities. Where Halo's maps are clean and quite static, Battlefield 2042 crumbles structures and throws debris around while a tornado tears through a map, flinging helicopters everywhere. And to be honest, I don't actually particularly enjoy playing Battlefield games, but my goodness, they're a treat to look at, right? Battlefield 5 and Battlefront 2 stood comfortably in the absolute top tier of games on the previous generation of consoles, and DICE do not look like they're about to step down from that pedestal. Okay, there isn't too much to show of this because it only got a passing mention at the event, but Bethesda casually dropped the news that Doom Eternal is getting an update to support 4K 60 frames per second with ray-traced reflections. Now if you've been keeping an eye on how next-gen games perform, you'll appreciate that those numbers alone are impressive. Doom Eternal was already a great looking game, and casually adding ray tracing at that level of performance, well, it's a noteworthy flex to say the least. There's a lot of potential in that id Tech engine. Last on my list is Starfield. Starfield is the first game built on Creation Engine 2, and while the in-engine teaser was a little dry, it has some truly impressive qualities. The bit I want to draw attention to is the lighting and the global illumination. The bold shadows cast across the deck here are gorgeous, but it's the moment the light hits this basic furniture, the materials just look so real. To me, that's actually reminiscent of Gran Turismo 7 in the trailer there that shows off the dashboard of a car. It's global illumination that makes these materials look so lifelike. In Gran Turismo 7, ray tracing is used to achieve that, but Unreal Engine 5 uses Lumen for high quality results, and there's all kinds of effects along these lines in different engines. I can't really speculate on what techniques Bethesda are using here, but I can just say, look, it looks really good. Alright, those are the highlights that jumped out for me personally from a purely technical perspective, but there were some other cracking looking games in the show. What stood out to you? Let us know in the comments here or at Gameondaily.com.